I'm Cory DeMeyers, and I am the director of Danny Boy, short film that is premiering at HollyShorts Film Festival in Hollywood, California. So I actually got into the film industry by way of parkour and freerunning. I was a professional parkour and freerunning athlete, and I competed in Red Bull events all over the world. And in that sport, you very much have to be your own producer and your own director when it comes to content. So I was setting up shoots, and I was directing and producing shoots inside of the action sports world for a number of years. And at the same time, I was working as a stuntman in Hollywood, doubling actors, playing bad guys. And so what I started doing was taking the cinematic film techniques that I was seeing used on set and all of the things that I was watching DPs and great directors do, and I started applying that to action sports. So over the years, just by way of having to shoot my own content for my sponsors and to stay relevant in the sport that I was in, I found a passion for filmmaking. And then I got together with a good friend of mine, Sammy Horowitz, who I had met on a movie, and he was starting to write, and we decided to do a project together that he would write and I would direct, and that was Danny Boy. My approach is very organic, to be completely honest with you, and I like to get in the space, see the space, work with the actors during the rehearsal, and really kind of dial in how we're going to cover things then. But as far as casting, you know, it goes both ways. Like there are parts of the characters in the film that are very easily for each of our actors to relate to. But I also think if these were characters that they had no relation to, through the rehearsals and working with each other and working together, we would have been able to find those characters. But what I like to do when I'm on set and we're shooting is I like to shoot the coverage that is needed, make sure we get what we need to put the piece together, and allow the actors time to get warm, right? And then we can go in and get other coverage, and we can get other takes, and we can try different things. But I don't like to give these guys too many notes when we were working together right off the top, because they need to kind of get warm and find themselves first, and then I can get in there and start working with the actors, because it is a collaborative effort. You know, Danny Boy was written by Sammy Horowitz, was directed by myself, and also starring Sammy Horowitz and one of my close friends and collaborators, Jet Jansen-Fernandez. Jet I had worked with over the years several times as a stunt coordinator on projects he was directing for YouTube and Google, and also on small little short film projects that he was doing, nothing that I was ever directing. But we were always very good at working together creatively, and he had a theater background and had been an actor earlier in his life. And so him and I connected very easy on this project, and he came on board to play Danny. Sammy I had worked with several times as a stunt performer, and we knew each other really well, and Sammy is a working actor as well. He gets a lot of guest star roles on television shows. And so both Sam and Jet knew what they were doing. We had a close relationship with each other individually. And so I wasn't really worried about working together with them. I knew what they both had to offer, and I knew what they were going to bring to the table. It was just massaging the characters in the rehearsal and then allowing them the time in the room to find those characters again when we were shooting the film. For Danny Boy, the approach was to keep it simple. Old school, traditional cinema. We didn't do anything innovative. We didn't try to shoot cool camera tricks, but what we did was solid filmmaking that told a good story. And I think that's really important, because a lot of people in my situation are trying to do the cool thing and trying to shoot cool, crazy stuff. But what's important is to tell the story, and we were able to tell that story with great actors and great writing and simple cinematic techniques. We didn't do anything too crazy. You know, Danny Boy was shot on a red Helium 8K camera and a red Gemini 5K camera that shoots really well in low light. But what we did for the most part was use natural light. We shot in natural light. The only thing we added was one quasar tube light to the interior of the car to give it a stylistic vibe, and also to light the characters. You know, we wanted a heightened sense of reality while keeping it grounded, and I think the blue light we used in the car to light our characters did that. You know, I think if you used natural light in the car, it would have been too dark, and we wouldn't have been able to color correct it. And if you used a white light to mimic some dash lights, I think it would have been too boring. And then we used a red light in the trunk to symbolize the death of one of the characters, who they find there later, and I think that played really well. Our colorist added this gorgeous film grain to it to really make it feel like it was something that was shot in the 80s or 90s, although we were on digital. And the way that we colored it as well was to really pull out the reds in the street lights, to pull out the red in the cigarette, and just give it an old school vibe. You know, like it very much, it was very important in color to make it feel like the 90s. Like we really wanted it to feel like the 90s. Our sound designer was amazing. He's based out of Chicago. I had worked with him on a couple of commercial projects here before, and he did all of our post sound design that is so incredible. And at HollyShorts, we're going to be able to show it in Dolby surround sound, so we have a 5.1 mix for that. We shot on Japanese anamorphics, old Kawa anamorphic lenses that are just absolutely gorgeous. But I also thought was necessary because we were shooting mostly in the interior of a car, so I wanted a larger landscape to really be able to see both of those characters. Our on-set sound mixer, we stashed in the back seat of the car the whole time, and somehow you never see him. He did an amazing job. And our actors, they did, you know, we started out originally, we were gonna shoot this as a oneer because we didn't think we were gonna have the time and the space to go in for coverage. So they were off book, 10 pages, rehearsed, off book, and they did the entire movie, start to finish, driving in the car in real traffic, you know, and they nailed it every single time. And because they were able to get it done so quickly in those master shots or in those oneers then became our actual master takes, and we had 3 more hours to go in and get the coverage that in my mind I wanted, but didn't think that I was going to be guaranteed that night. So I didn't have my heart set on the coverage, but I knew what I wanted if I had the opportunity, and thank God we had the opportunity to go in there and pick those things up. And all in all, the entire short film was shot in one night in 4.5 hours. And if you've seen the film, or when you get a chance to see the film, I think we made a $5,000, a sub $5,000 short film in 4.5 hours. It looked like we had about $250,000 to shoot it. And for that, I'm very grateful for everybody that came in and helped us. I'm very proud of our team that we had. And it just makes me excited for the future. If we can do that with sub $5,000, just imagine what we could do with $1 million budget and a feature film, you know? The truth is, when you're going into film festivals, you can't really expect much, to be honest with you, especially by way of awards or accolades. But thankfully, we've done really well. We've had 13 official selections, and we've had 5 wins out of all of those selections so far. But a festival like HollyShorts, which is an Oscar qualifying short film festival, they have about 300 films playing over roughly 10 days out of 5,000 plus submissions. So to be a part of that top, 5% of films that were chosen around the world to play in Hollywood it's gratifying. It's gratifying. It tells me that we did something right with the film. It tells me that I, as a director, am on the right track, and our team is on the right track. And really, what I can only hope to get out of a festival like HollyShorts and Bushwick International Film Festival that we're playing later on this next month is just to meet other filmmakers, meet producers that are working to create stories like the ones that we're telling. I can only hope to network and connect with other individuals that are trying to do what we do, that are as passionate about making the type of films that we're making. And hopefully we can build a little bit of momentum, and when we move into our feature film that Sam and I are now in development with, hopefully we can use some of these resources to get that done, and maybe we'll be able to come back to some of these festivals with a feature, and because we're alumni at the ones that are not just short film festivals, we'll be able to screen with them.
I'm Sammy Horowitz. I am a writer as well as a stunt performer and actor, and I wrote our movie Danny Boy. Well, the concept came about because my good friend Cory DeMeyers and I, we had just got done in the gym, and we were talking about coming up with something for him to shoot, a narrative, because basically, a lot of action directors are only expected to really direct action. I mean, that's what they do, and Cory wanted to show something that, was more than that. He wanted to show that he could do more narrative-based stuff, and we were just tossing around concepts and a car and minimal cast, and so I just went to it. I wrote the short. So I had I guess an unorthodox kind of approach to it. I was a professional boxer who then kind of fell into the stunt world just through my boxing promoter back in Chicago, and prior to that I was in prison for a really long time, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. And once I got out of prison and got into fighting and boxing, I was doing that. That was going to be my career, and I fell into stunts, and really that was my thing. And meeting my wife, Sari Sanchez, who's an actor, she would hear me tell stories and talk about maybe wanting to write a book or something like that, and she suggested that I learn how to write scripts. And she introduced me to my friend Adam Payson, who really taught me how to structurally put scripts together, and he's my writing partner for 98% of my projects, and that's kind of how it happened for me. Well, I can draw a lot of stuff off of my background, you know. A lot of, especially nowadays, people want authenticity. People are demanding authentic stories, and they want lived experience. Well, I bring that, you know. I did all the things that I pretend to do on TV. I really did. You know, not many people can say that. It's not bragging rights. It's just reality. You know, I was in the streets doing that type of stuff. Crime, drugs, all of it. So now I get to draw from those experiences to my art, to my work. Cory and I have another one coming. My writing partner, Adam Payson, who's brilliant. Him and I adapted my play Musket and the Rat into a full-length feature, and Cory and his production company has optioned the movie, and we're in development right now to get things going. We're getting set to go into pre-production pretty soon here, and get some actors attached, which we already have, which is really exciting, and that's what we got going on right now. And then Adam and I on the side, we've gotten some interest on some different television writing programs that we've sunk our teeth into, so to speak, over the last couple of years. So things are going really good. Well, you know, there's never really been an easier time to make stuff, I guess, because of all the different ways that you can get it out there, whether that be YouTube or, you know, streaming services or Netflix. I mean, there's so many different options, and all you need is an iPhone, really, to make something. How to cut through it, I really don't know. I mean, I think that there's a pendulum that swings, and certain things become popular, and certain types of stories become popular. And you know, I'm just interested in telling stories that interest me, which is real life experiences, stuff that I know, my wheelhouse. You know, my wheelhouse is drama. My wheelhouse is crime. My wheelhouse is, you know, struggling. My wheelhouse is addiction. That's the type of stuff that I'm interested in telling. I can't tell you what other audiences and what other people are interested in, and why. You know, there's money behind it. There's money in, you know, the studios put money behind certain things, and that's just how it is. I'm just going to keep on writing the type of stuff that I like to write, and that Adam and I like to write, and making things with my friends like Cory, and we're just going to do it.
All right, so what's the plan?
We're going to go in through the front door.
What are you doing?
Now we can split this thing 2 fucking ways. It's a win-win.
You motherfucker!